Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Got a Mule update. This may be one of the last updates of building stuff because I don't really think I have a whole lot left to do to it. I want to put a piece of plexiglass on the front for the windshield. I want to do that for sure. I think what I'll do is I'll just have it come down to maybe right here so that when you're driving, air will come up over and get you in the face. And I put the front bumper on it. This side was a little bit tweaked, like somebody ran into a tree, so I fixed it by using a tree to pull it back out. Just stuck a chain on there, wrapped it around a tree, and put her in reverse, and pulled it right out. It kind of bent that mount a little bit, so it tried to pull away from the bolt. But it was like this before. I actually fixed it. It was worse. And let's see, lights. Oh, I got this here. I think I talked about this before. Just got this off of Amazon, just a cheapo thing. And I thought you got your red and you got your amber, and I thought that red would be like maybe like if you got your lights on, so it would just indicate that the lights are on. And then if you put the brakes on, maybe this wouldn't get brighter, but it would just be red. And then the yellow would be for your blinkers. Nope, they're wired together. So whenever one's on, the other one's on. So that may be something I upgrade because that's stupid. And it comes with some cool little switches. It's got a horn switch. It actually came with a horn. Of course, hazards left and right. I think what I'll end up doing with those is I'll make a little binnacle. Maybe have it hang down low there, or maybe, hell, I don't know. I'll do something, but that'd be kind of cool to have lights up here. Maybe just drill right through this plastic. Just put them right there and right there, both sides. And then the other cool thing I got is I got the bed done, and I think it looks fantastic. I'll take some outside shots so you get better light of it and a little bit better shot, and I'll put them right here. Get it out here in the sun so you can see what it looks like. I guess I ought to paint that little plastic cover. It's for the master cylinder. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, I think that looks great. Ooh, speaking of weird things, look at this dude. These things are creepy. I'm not really sure what they are, but like if you step on them, they make noise. I'm not going to step on it, but I'm going to get it out of here. Those are so weird. I don't know what it is. Big red ant. Anyway, yeah, that looks great. And got these little latches on there, so I can drop the sides down, drop the back down. I need to come up with some sort of a chain or cable maybe, so that when you drop the back down, it's just flat. And I really should do the same thing to the sides, but I don't know. I don't really know how often I'm going to drop them down. If I drop them down a lot and it becomes a thing that I need to do, then maybe that's something that I will do later. But put Herculiner inside here, give it a nice solid, really, really wear resistant coating. And then the sides, I just went ahead and painted them red. I kind of wish I'd have painted the front red, but I don't think it really matters. Nobody cares at all. I certainly don't. And then this used to be really heavy, but I got a lift cylinder. This was one of 2 lift cylinders that I had laying around from my Ranger back a long time ago. So that's pretty cool. I got, I don't know if I talked about it last time, but I have talked about that controller before, not giving me the kind of power I want. Well, this is a Curtis controller, and I've got the PC-based software for a Curtis controller, so you can really get in there and dial in settings and calibrate the throttle properly, and do good acceleration curves and all that stuff. However, I think this is a $150 Chinese knockoff, and it's giving me an EEPROM error. And of course, I'm going back and forth with them, and they're like, "Well, send me a video." And I'm like, "Do you really need a video of an LED flashing once every second indicating that it's an EEPROM?" And they're like, "Yes, that will help us troubleshoot." I'm like, okay, fine. So we've been going back and forth for a while. In the meantime, I bought another one because it's $150. I think originally these were like $500, so as long as I don't have to buy 4 of them, if I get one out of 3 or 4, then great. But in the meantime, I went ahead and put the Kelly back on there, and I made just a little adapter. This is the connector that the Curtis uses, and then of course that's the one from the Kelly. So I just made a little adapter, and then kind of got this rigged for temporary, just so I can drive it around. And the little the plate that I made for the cooling made this much better, because previously I had this RTV directly to this chill plate, but now I've got a 16 gauge piece of aluminum in there, and that way I can just take the controller off without having to mess with RTV or create a leak or anything, and it works great. So that's cool. And the other thing I've got to do, and I may just save this for later, is my belt drive kit. That's the motor side, and these are drilled for the flange for the transmission input. And you know, it's all here, and I got that sort of adjuster, and then I've got another one too to keep tension on it. But I may just hold off on that. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just something that'd be just kind of nice, something cool to do, just some maintenance free sort of thing that's, you know, fractionally quieter. The chain is actually really quiet, especially with the bed on it. But that's kind of it. Yeah, I want to put plexiglass on there, and show you something else. I've been kicking around this idea about putting this big old solar panel. I think this is a 300 watt solar panel, but it actually fits right up here on top, and it could be just used to trickle charge the main battery pack. Really, that's all it'd be good for, 300 watts. And because this is like a 20 kilowatt hour battery pack, so if this was actually run down, a 300 watt panel in a typical day where I live is going to give you about 1.5 kilowatt hours per day on a good sun drenched day. So 1.5 kilowatt hours, and that's, you know, 20 or so kilowatt hour battery. It'd take an awful long time to charge that up. But it, you know, it's mostly just a kind of a shade. But my wife, she wants to make a little canvas top for it, and I'm kind of inclined to do that, because it would look, having that big old panel up there would be kind of cool, but on the other hand, it would look kind of weird. That's it. That's it for that. So I put a charge port on there. This was really simple. I just made a little, I got this here gizmo off of Amazon. This is like a shore power for boats, I think, and or something like that. And then just made a really simple bracket, welded it to this piece that was already there. Just got that bolt in there to keep it from flipping like that, even with the welds. When I welded it, I was afraid that it was going to bend out this way, and I didn't want that. So I just got that bolt there kind of holding it, and it doesn't eat anything. Another thing I want to do is I want to put a proper 12 volt battery here. That way I can possibly maybe one day put a winch here. And then I've also got, hold on, I got this inverter. This was in my Jeep. This mount was specifically for the Jeep, of course. But 3,000 watts, that's kind of not a joke. That's a lot. And AC or DC 12 volt comes in there. And then you got your plugs back here. So I may flip this thing the right way around, make a bracket for it, make a mount for it right here. Because that's not a bad place underneath the seat. Be kind of protected from the elements. The only thing that is a bummer is in the way of seeing all of that mess, all that stuff, all the batteries, because they're kind of cool to look at. But, or it could just lay flat, couldn't it? Why not? Who knows? I don't know. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.